Hey, what's up? It's your girl AWTM, and we are back. Now, if you love all the Queen's men, this is your channel. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you're watching this on. Today, we're going to get into the relationship between Doc and Detective Davis. Now, is it really over? Now, we all seen that Madam pulled the plug on this relationship last week. She told them they were done because it was interfering with business and things weren't getting done. And Detective Davis was really thirsty and out of control, in my opinion. So, if we give a little history on how they met. So, at the end of last season, sometime or another, Doc was arrested. He was brought in, and Detective Davis definitely tried to flip him over and have him wear a wire to get some information on Madam. He said he wasn't doing that. She showed up at his apartment. Now, he came home, and Detective Davis was actually in his apartment. He was saying he has cameras everywhere. How did you get in here? Everybody's going to know you were here. She actually informed him that she scrambled all of the cameras so nobody would know. So, in my mind, Detective Davis kind of had a thing for Doc from the beginning, but she did say that she wanted information. So, Doc, I believe, was kind of feeling her in some kind of way too. Not in a really romantic way, but in a way that, I can get her. I know she want me. I can break her down. So he proceeds to try to put his moves on her. And he got up and showed what he was working with. And when I say you might want to go back to the beginning of this season 3 and watch that part because they showed everything. And I mean everything. So go ahead and watch that and check that out if you haven't seen it. So he starts to put the moves on her and she gets up and tries to leave. But, he kind of puts more pressure on her. And Detective Davis, she just gave in, right? She didn't even put up much of a fight to get away from him because I think she wanted Doc in the first place. So what happens is they end up messing around multiple times that night. They end up going at it. And I think Detective Davis kind of wanted this all along. She was really into her career and what she had going on. It didn't have a lot of time for love. So when Doc presented this opportunity, she took it. She woke up in his bed the next day and act like she didn't know where she was. So she quickly got dressed. While she was getting dressed or after she got dressed, Madam shows up because Doc made the phone call to Madam to let her know that Detective Davis was in his bed. So she denied even sleeping with Doc. She told Madam, I didn't sleep with him. And she was like, why are you screwing one of my dancers? And she said, I did not. You can't prove it. So that's how that situation went. So even after this whole situation went down where she got busted, she actually kind of still was, you know, pining for Doc. And she actually still wanted to take Madam down at this point. So this was not at the point where she was working with Madam. She was still trying to go after her and take her down, much like DA Rides or Rose is trying to now. Later on that day, she pulls up on Madam at the club and tries to shake her down, tell her that she has all this information on her and she is still going to take her down no matter what's going on. Now, Madam does have a smug look on her face because she knows that this cop has been sleeping with her dancer and that's really against protocol. So she's not too worried about anything that she's saying, but she continues to try to press Madam. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Casanova was a cop. He was in the club undercover, dancing, trying to get Detective Davis more information about Madam. So he was acting as her CI in the club or whatever. He didn't tell her much information. There was some things that he was able to record, but I don't know if you remember the recording got taken from him. So a few weeks later, Detective Davis gets called in by DA Rides, and she tells her that she found all this information about Madam on her computer and her email, and she had been keeping that from her, and now she's in trouble. She's actually suspended from the force. So this gives her the opportunity to go ahead and be more open with Doc, try to go after him more. This is at the point where you see them really having a chemistry. He's kind of starting to really like her and she's starting to really like him. So she wants to be around him more. She wants, to get her cheeks clapped more and she wants to just have fun with him and be around him. I think Doc kind of opened up a spark that she was missing in her life. He made things fun again because she was so into her detective work and so focused on getting Madam that she kind of lost herself. You can see there she's putting money in his pants. He knows what she wants. She knows what she wants. So it always goes down between them. So this is at a point where they really get into each other and they really like each other. She sees him as like a breath of fresh air where she had a boring work life before. She knows she's suspended from the force, so she's going to be a little bit more open with him. And she gets the idea that she's going to start to call Madam, So this is the point where I think they really start having feelings for one another and start trying to, googly eye one another. And it wasn't about the money anymore. So she gets to a point where she's kind of desperate. So she starts to reach out to Madam because she knows her days at the precinct are numbered. She knows that she's not going to have a job for very much longer. So she starts to step over into the bad side where she wants to work with Madam. And I'm sure she sees this as an opportunity for her to get some money and for her to see Doc a little bit more as she pleases. She's even popping up at his place, just saying, I came by because I want you. And he does let her in. Now, Doc is usually very mean, but he obliged her and let her in. And he was trying to make her say what she actually wanted from him. Now, I knew at this point there was a problem on his end and her end. They're actually catching a lot of feelings for each other and wanting to be together. And I don't blame her because y'all know I feel that Doc is super fine. I'm going to say that again. And he has something great that he's working with, but he just, lets her do whatever she wants to do with him. And that's when I knew that it was going to be an issue. Them sleeping together, them being together. She even starts to roll up to the club, to ask him before he starts dancing, can they, mess around for a while? Can she get her cheeks clapped in the parking lot? And he definitely does it for her. She even goes so far as to come back to the club later on that evening to watch him dance and to throw money. She's all giddy. She's all over him, acting like a teenager in love, like she's 16 and just had her first piece of but she's all over him. Now, this is going to propose a problem because now this is interfering with business, Madam's business. So Madam is watching this from afar, and she does not like this one bit. She is a distraction. She is a distraction from Doc making his money because it seems like her and Doc are really too preoccupied with each other. Like, he's supposed to be in the club making money, and he's being distracted by her, and she's supposed to be getting information, and she's not getting that. So Madam calls them into the office. So she has Detective Davis come into the office, and she's questioning her, like, what are your dealings with my dancer? Like, are you getting any more information? And Detective Davis is like, why are you worried about who I'm sleeping with or who's clapping my cheeks? And she was like, because I own him and I own you. She also called Doc into the office and gave him the same speech. He said that he did slip up a little bit and he was, doing some things that he shouldn't have been doing, but he can cut it off at any time, which I don't really think he does or can because Doc now has feelings. So she told them both under no circumstances should they continue to see each other. And Detective Davis was very disappointed. She looked like she had lost her best friend. She was upset. And she also told Detective Davis that she no longer needs her services for her working for her. So with all that being said, is Doc and Detective Davis, are they going to stop seeing each other and stop messing around? Because it seems like they're kind of lustfully addicted to each other, for lack of better words. Like, they want to keep messing around. They both have feelings for each other. And are they going to let Madam stop them? Or will they continue to see each other on the low? What do you think? Do you think Doc is strong enough to cut this off? Do you think Detective Davis is scared enough of Madam to cut this off? I see her still harassing Doc. I see her still going after him and wanting him. So let me know what you think in the comments. So we're going to have a recap of this week's episode, which will air tonight. And it will be on demand probably tomorrow. So I'll try to get that recap out for the next episode. And this is coming up on the end of the season, I'm thinking. So I'll have that recap out by Saturday. Let me know if you have any questions or anything you want me to cover. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and follow me if you can. And I'll see you next time. This has been AWTM. Child, now I don't know what they was thinking about. Everybody's so messy. AWTM with the news you can use. TV shows and your latest celebrity news. Follow me on Facebook, Elise. YouTube, AWTM. TikTok, Elise with the message. Now let's get